What's up? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching Sit Down, hanging out with the Basketball Hall of Famer. It's Nancy Lieberman. How are you?
How are you? It's great to see you. I like your shirt.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a new quarantine purchase. I'm not going anywhere this summer, so might as well bring the summer to the living room.
It's funny because so many people have talked about, including myself. I haven't put on a pair of slacks, jeans, in 2.5 months. Wow. I think my last day doing Pelicans basketball, which was the last game that the NBA did. We had done the pregame show. We step off, and our bosses go back out there. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, go back out there. The season is over. And we're like, you got to be kidding. Because we were watching the game with the Jazz in Oklahoma City. Because we Fox Southwest does that as well. And we're like, you got to be kidding. I can't believe they're canceling the game. And then our game got canceled, because the official was the guy who did the Jazz game that Monday.
Wow, I forgot that even happened and that you were there. And there's that story that Lonzo Ball tried to get shots up after all this, and it's like, no, the season's over. Like, there's nothing happening right now.
Yeah, I think it was probably smart of the Pelicans personnel, because once they saw that Courtney was the official, he's a great guy, but when they saw him, I think there was just a lot of apprehension, like, are we really going to go out on the court? Because we just don't know enough about what's happening right now. The Rudy Gobert thing just scared everybody. Yeah. And I really think that straightened everybody up, that this is real, because of the press conference where, he was messing around with everybody. And it became a reality.
Yeah, it's really crazy that was only 2 months ago. It feels like a lifetime ago at this point. I mean, what are you missing the most about just basketball in general and the NBA overall?
I just miss the action. When your whole life has been around the squeak of the sneakers and the guys, the gamesmanship, the hard work. I miss being around the guys. I miss going into an arena and seeing LeBron or Rondo or Dwight Howard or Kevin Love, guys that I have, relationships with, and giving them a big hug and finding out how they're doing, their family. I just, that's my DNA, is to be around the game on different levels, whether it's a coach, a broadcaster, or as the player. You miss those relationships, and thank God for The Last Dance.
Yeah, that was awesome, right? How fun was that to watch?
So, okay, like everybody else, I didn't exactly know what it was when it was being promoted, that it was coming out in June. I think June 19th,
Right, after the finals, the whole thing.
And so then, they moved it up, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I remember that. So, I'm probably aging myself, because Michael and Barkley and Rodman and Malone and all these guys, Larry, Isaiah, we're all contemporaries and we're all friends. So I was around a lot of that stuff. Like, I knew Dennis. When I was first drafted here in Dallas in 1980, the first women's league, the WBL.
Yeah.
Deborah Rodman played at Louisiana Tech. We beat them for the national championship my junior year. And then in 81, Deborah is my teammate with the Dallas Diamonds. And she goes, Nancy, I want to introduce you to my brother. His nickname is Worm. I go, Worm? Dennis was in every one of our practices. So we've known Dennis. My son has had a chance when he got inducted in the Naismith Hall of Fame to be around him or the family, just see the people that are in the world that he's in and I'm in. And it was, this whole Last Dance is fantastic. It's beautiful. And it shows the ultimate competitor and what he went through and how he pushed people to be great. I just think it's tremendous.
I mean, you can appreciate what it takes to win and the sacrifices you have to make too. And, Jordan was ruthless at times, but you got it done. And that's what you have to do sometimes.
There's businessmen and women who are ruthless in the pursuit of excellence and greatness. But even though, a lot of the guys would say that Michael was tough on them, or, he was an a-hole, he was this, he was that. He made everybody better. He pushed you to standards and levels that you never thought you would achieve. And you have now a story to tell in your lifetime if you're Jed Bushler, you know, if you're, you know, BJ Armstrong, if you're some of these other guys who would not have had those moments to share with their families.
Yeah, it's been an incredible ride for all those players, and you've had this amazing basketball story too. And I want to go all the way back. Let's go back to New York, and let's go back to you first becoming a hooper. And when did you realize that basketball was going to be your thing?
Well, football was my thing.
Yeah.
Back in when I was, you know, 7, 8, 9, I started playing football. And you'll laugh, but this is a true story. So I was a Jets fan, you know, in '68 when, you know, Namath and, you know,
Yep.
when the
Guaranteed the win. Yeah.
So we were poor, no father. It was a struggle growing up. So we go to this thrift shop, and there's a New York Jets helmet lamp. And I go, Mom, I gotta have this, please. And the lady goes, it's 50 cents. I'm like, Ma, I gotta have this. So we buy the helmet lamp. It has like a wood base. I take it home, I get scissors, and I cut the wires, and I unscrew the base. And I put towels, like hand towels, in the helmet.
Oh my gosh.
And I got like duct tape. I don't think it was called duct tape back then. And I went to football tryouts the next day because I had a helmet. I needed a plastic. It was plastic. So I'm running back a kick, and this guy hits me as hard as I can, you know, puts his helmet down. You know, wind comes out of me. I can't even breathe. And when my head went back, my New York Jets helmet split in half. And it was, the tape was here, but the helmet was hanging.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I walked back to my house about a block away, and my lip was out. And I'm like, my mom goes, what happened to the lamp? And I go, not a lamp, it's a helmet. And I broke it trying to run back a kick. I was crying. And I looked so stupid with the tape sitting on my chin and the 2 helmets in half, just dangling. So then I went to baseball. And at 10 years old, I ended up starting, 9, 10, I started playing basketball. You know, there was Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Dr. J. What a great time in New York. You know, the Knicks were good, the Nets were good. And then I took the blessed trip to Rucker Park.
Mm-hmm.
I was 11, 12 years old, took money out of my mom's wallet, said I'm going to the park. She thought I was going to PS 104. I got on the A train in Far Rockaway, the last stop, took it into Manhattan, changed, got off at 155th and Malcolm X Boulevard, and walked into the park. And I had a jacket, you know, so I'd look bigger on the train. I had T-shirts in the jacket. You know, you're up in that Jersey area. Mm-hmm. Do it to them before they do it to you.
You gotta look tough. You gotta play the game here.
I had that scowl. Look, I was, you know, all of like 120 pounds and red hair. I walk in the park, and the brothers look at me and they go, little girl. I'm like, yeah. They say, are you lost? I said, no, are you? And he started laughing. And I was bouncing my ball, and they said, do you know where you are? I said, yes. What's your name? I said, is your name Rucker? He goes, no. I said, good, it ain't your park, and I want to play, and I heard you guys are really good. Can you help me? And they just put their wings over me, protected me, championed me. So you and I are not on this call without those guys who look different from me. And we became inseparable. They didn't give a rat's behind if I was a little white Jewish girl. There was this bond that has lasted to today while we're in our 60s.
Those are really incredible stories. And, you know, across the country, equality has been an issue in a lot of different areas, but sports, it has bridged the gap in some ways. And that's a great story, and just representing that. And also just who you are as a person, and also like how basketball is such a big deal in New York City. It doesn't matter what you look like or who you are, like the game brings people together. So how would you describe the essence of New York City basketball for people who didn't have that experience like you?
It's a melting pot of respect. If you can play, that's all that matters. And if you're responsible and you're loyal and you show up, then there's this incredible bond that you have, and you get to grow together. Because, you know, when I was young and I was trying a few years later to make the Olympic team out of high school, think about it. This is the 60s. There's no Title IX. There's no gender equity. There's no WNBA. There's no scholarships. There's nothing. So what am I playing for? What am I doing? And the guys that didn't look like me in the park were African American. They were like fire. They call me fire because of my red hair and, you know, tenacity.